Hey there. Welcome to the Literary Escape Podcast. I'm your host, Becky, and I'm glad you're here today. On the Literary Escape Podcast, we talk about books. We talk about escapes that we can have through our books. And I always have some great book recommendations for you. So, buckle up and let's see where we're going today. Enjoy the show. Hey there. Today I am excited to be talking to author Elizabeth Moore Kraus, and we are talking about her new book, and it's called 3 Sisters, 3 Weeks, 3 Countries, and Still Talking. So let's jump right into the interview.
So how are you?
I'm very excited. You're my first podcast.
Yay! That's awesome. And your book seems perfect for my podcast too, which is lovely.
It is. It really is.
This is your debut novel, right?
It is.
And
it is.
You, from what I read, you went on a trip with your sisters.
And I did not kill either of them. I made a promise to Mom.
Well, having 2 sisters, that's impressive.
See, and I'm a person of my words. So did I want to? Probably. Which sister are you? I'm the middle sister.
I'm the middle.
See, we're great. We understand.
We're great.
What's with those other 2? Yeah, what's with those other 2? I don't know.
That's so funny. So how did the trip come about? Let's start there.
Okay, so my younger sister, Ree, her name's Laurie, but she goes by Ree. And the reason for that's in the book. She's traveled to Europe a lot. And every time she comes home, she says, come on, you two, we need to go. But every time, neither Les nor I could go. It's either work, obligations, money, things like that.
Yeah.
So I write about Thanksgiving 2018. She says, okay, you're retiring in May, Diz, that's my nickname, and Les, we need to go. We're all healthy, we can afford it. So that's how it came about. It was because of her that she, said, okay, we'll go.
Good for her.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so where did you guys go to?
Well, she wanted to start in Italy, and she started talking about the ice cream and such, and we were pretty much there. But I said, let's go somewhere where you haven't been before, kind of on an even playing ground. So we had learned that we're Irish, Scottish, and English. So we went to Ireland, Scotland, and England.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
And then, of course, we all start talking over each other, as sisters do.
Yep.
And let's go here, let's do that, let's stay here. And I finally said, how about for each country, 3 countries, we each take 1 country, we do the planning, we do the reservations, and whatever we want to go, you 2 have to come as well. And the bonus is, whosever country it is, you get the choice of bedrooms.
Oh, so nice.
They found my idea very welcoming, and I figured this is how the trip is going to go. I'm going to suggest they're going to love.
Yeah.
I'm a dreamer.
Yeah, that's a good thing to be, isn't it?
It is. So that's what we did. We started with there. We had to talk less out of not backing out. She had never flown overseas. Well, she'd flown to Hawaii and California, but not a trip this long. So, but we talked her into
coming from the West Coast over, that is a long trip.
It is.
Further east, yeah.
One wouldn't think, but it is. But it turned out really well for the most part.
Okay.
The book, Eat, Love, Pray.
Mm-hmm.
We're more of eat, lost, and laugh. That's who we are.
That works
lost,
too.
Laugh. It does. And we laughed a lot.
That's important.
Yeah, we all have the same sense of humor. They laugh at my jokes, which is very rewarding, of course. So it just ended up a fun time. And we figured, we get along, so why not?
It's interesting because traveling with someone is a really different experience than just like being good friends with someone, or, and I'm assuming that you haven't lived with your sisters in probably a few decades, and traveling together is challenging.
It is. You're a fabulous assumption.
Well,
It's
my
true.
older sister and I are good travel partners, we've discovered.
Oh,
And my younger sister and I, we haven't traveled in a long time, so I don't know how that would go these days. So
interesting.
yeah.
We're all, it's so fascinating how we have the same parents, came from the same womb, but we have this line of humor, understanding our stories, our history, but boy, can we be different.
Yeah.
And we kind of forgot about that. You know, we was kind of in the honeymoon stage. Yeah, we can do this, go ahead. But something really interesting happened to me early on, because I never intended to write a book. That was never my intention.
Well, I'm going to get to that in a minute. So I'm curious to hear about that. Yeah.
But through a colleague, I used to teach at a community college here before I retired, and a colleague had written a book, and he'd gone through 75 agents before he was finally accepted. I'm not made of that tough skin. That's not me.
That's pretty hardcore. Yeah.
It is. It is. So I instead decided to go self-publishing, but he recommended an author for me to look at my book and see if there was anything there. And she loved the title, she loved the book, she loved everything I had. But one thing that she struggled with was when we got lost. She said, okay, what does that mean? I said, that we're lost? She goes, no, there's something else there. Nope.
We're just lost.
She goes, well, your readers really want to hear that there's some things there that really need to be addressed. And then there are these problems and then finding your way, you find your way metaphorically. So I said, no, that's not us. Yeah. And so she said, well, why would you take the trip? And I said, well, why not? And then at that point, I realized she's not the right editor for me.
Okay.
And it really gave me a jump off point. Why not? Because why not? You know, let's take the chance.
I mean, taking chances is a theme. You know, I mean, if you're looking for a theme, there's so many people that don't step outside their comfort zones to do something, even if it's fun and adventurous and exciting.
Yes.
That first step is really hard.
It is. And it's so interesting that you bring that up, because here I said so boldly, yes, I went for 3 weeks with my sisters, 3 countries. And then the other day, my husband says, let's fly a charter plane to the Grand Canyon, and we'll fly through the Grand Canyon in a helicopter, and then we'll raft down the Colorado. No, not me. You will not get me. Not
adventurous.
He can. I rode in a whirlybird years ago, scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big flyer. So that's something more his cup of tea. I'm adventurous as long as it fits within my parameters. On the ground. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Ireland, England, and Scotland, right?
Yes, yes.
And so which country was your country?
My country was Ireland.
Oh, fun.
So,
and which one was first, second, and third? What was your order?
First was Ireland. That was me. Then it was England, which was the older sister, Les. And then Scotland, the younger sister, Ree.
Fun. Okay.
So, yeah. So we tapped into Ree saying, okay, you're the experienced traveler. How long should we go? How long should we be there at each place? So it kind of worked out 7-10 days, you know, between all 3. So nice. That worked out really well. Well, it kind of did. Didn't completely. What's really funny is our different personalities. Is that in one chapter I talk about, can a GPS rust? Well, our older sister has this built-in GPS that we always depended on as a family. That didn't seem to work over.
It doesn't work overseas,
No, it doesn't seem to. It seems like it rusted a little bit. So we got lost a couple times.
Yeah.
But there's a fun story to it. I mean, if we had not, it would have really cut off some fun and funny opportunities.
Okay.
So with every time that it's like, I'm about ready to kill you, she is saved because there's a funny story that goes with it.
Well, and being able to be in the moment and recognize the fun story part of it versus staying in the ticked off mode because you're lost is an important thing too. So
It really is. And we laugh about because, and I even address this in the story, we're leaving Belfast. So we were trying to find the bus to get us back to the train station to get us back to Dublin. And it was 5 o'clock. We couldn't understand all the street signs. And it was like, who's on first? And we said, oh my gosh, we're lost. And Les says, what did Daddy always tell us? No, you're not. You're right here. And it just really, livened the mood.
Anchors you, yeah.
It does. And we all understood it. We didn't have someone else traveling with us that we had to explain.
Right.
All she had to say that, and it's like, that's right. So it really changes the whole mood.
It's funny. Yeah. It's fun as a family to have those type of memories together. Because we did a few trips abroad with our kids when they were younger. And it's funny because there's things that they still talk about, because I'm pretty even keel and all that. And my daughter will bring up, oh, except for that time in the airport. So having those type of stories that you can fall back on and laugh together about, it's fun.
Yes.
It's a great thing.
It really is. And the premise of my book is based on a touchstone that we camped almost every weekend. Our parents were extremely young. My mom had 5 children by the time she was 27. And Daddy was 30. So they had a busy little family. So they took us camping and hiking all the time. And it was something that my parents really enjoyed. So I wanted to have a touchstone for the 3 of us while traveling in case those 2 screwed up, because I was counting on that, and I've got to find a way to help. And I've told them this many times, so yes. But what I did is that we have many memories in a tent. And the tent would be, especially in weather, if it was starting to rain, we knew not to go, once we're in the tent, not to touch it because it's not waterproof, but it's water resistant. So it would only take a few minutes to see how quickly water would start dripping in because we would be touching the tent, of course. So I use a sister tent as a metaphorical 4th passenger with us, if you might, a traveler. And I said, this is a place where we can all relate, we can all connect.
Yeah.
And if we have a time where we have storms that we've created on our own, we know we have this place where we're safe and we can go there and recharge, regroup, rethink. And so it really helped. It helped a lot to have this metaphorical sister tent.
That's my sister and I traveled to Italy last year. And there was this brief window where, if you were vaccinated and didn't have anything, you could hop on a plane and go somewhere. And so we did. And having been together a lot, we knew we needed space at the end of the day to go our separate ways. So we needed separate bedrooms at least. And, to know those kind of things about yourself, where when you need to recharge, when it's okay to be together, that kind of stuff makes for better travel.
Or a funny story, one right after another, because
there you go.
Ree and I, the youngest and I, left Les to her own volition to make plans for the hotel in England. And that turns into a whole chapter in itself. And it is, I don't know how to explain it. It's so we get to England and Les is saying, well, where's the lift? And he said, well, we don't have one. So in England, we discovered the ground floor is really the second floor.
Right. Yeah.
And the basement is the first floor.
Right.
And our floor was 4 flights up. And so Ree and I say, okay, we're going to haul the luggage up, Les, you wait here. And we walk into the room and it is literally 3 beds jammed together. Les will not have a room of her own.
Oh my.
And Ree and I are thinking, oh, this is
going to be fun. Yeah.
It is. But what's really important early on, there are 2 things about us. We are what I call stomper offers. we have the propensity to stomp off if we're in the middle of an argument, we don't like the way it's going. We learned it from our mom. It does not work. It doesn't work at all, but it sure makes us feel, great.
Makes you feel like you're doing something, right?
Exactly. So we made a promise not to be stomper offers. Okay. And we're very stubborn. We have this streak. So all of these come really into play, heightened at the middle of our trip. But most of all, we made a promise to stick together no matter what.
Well, because 2 weeks is a long time to be with anyone. I mean,
it is
and serious time.
It is. And I even told our little sister, you need time away. She was, no, I've done this many times. We're fine. And I said, Les, because she's the same way. No, I'm fine. I said, okay, we're fine.
I need space.
Sticking together. I'm good either way. I'm more the extrovert. I can go with the flow. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So a lot
That's
of
helpful
things,
in a traveler.
It is. So a lot of experiences that we just kind of put on the back burner all of a sudden show up.
Yep.
And I have a longtime girlfriend. She goes, I would have left. I wouldn't have handled it. I couldn't have stood it. I would have caught the first plane. I said, but you're not a Moore sister. The Moore sisters found a way around it. Was it painful? But was it funny? Was it, if we would not have stayed, we would not have had this experience. Mm-hmm. And in fact, this experience opened up information without giving it away that Les and I never, ever knew about each other.
That's awesome.
It really was. It really was. Yeah.
So how did all of this turn into a book? What was that process like?
So I am a Gemini and I get bored very easily. My husband's thrilled that I am still with him almost 40 years. So that's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But when I was 42, I went to college for the very first time. I decided I needed a change. And so I started college and I said, I'm just going to take one class. And 6 years later, I've earned my master's in English literature.
Wow.
And so I taught at a high school for 14 years during the day and at the college at night. So after 14 years, I dropped off the high school and just went with the college. Okay. So I taught lit, loved teaching it. And I loved learning the different perspectives from my students. So I retire and I always keep a travel journal. I don't journal otherwise, but I keep a travel journal.
Nice.
So we're home, all's good. And then COVID. And Les and Ree love to do jigsaw puzzles. So I said, okay, each in our own home, we're going to do jigsaw puzzles. But I tell you, after jigsaw puzzle number 5, no, I'm done. Not interested, bored. Mm-hmm. So I thought, you know what? I'll just start typing up my journal just to put it in easier form to read versus my handwriting. And then I started writing, and I sent some pages to a long time, my high school girlfriend. We're still dear friends. And she says, you really have something here. Okay. And so I thought, what else is there to do? So I started writing, and 2 years later, it just, because I never set out to write a book. Mostly think English professor, you're going to write a book. Not, I didn't have anything to write about.
Yeah.
And then this came along.
So any plans to keep writing, or is it just, because this was your experience, you were able to write it?
Becky, this is what the problem has been up until yesterday, and I was sitting in the dental chair. Yeah, I get inspired in weird places, right?
I hear you, yeah.
But I was telling my husband, I was telling my siblings, I said, I think it was just lightning in a bottle because I had a journal, I could copy it, I'm one and done. But my mom is due to pass any day now. And it's okay. She's 91. She has wanted to go. And so the moment will be very difficult, of course, but we just want her out of pain. Yeah. So it's mixed feelings. So, but Mom and Dad have an incredible story, but I don't know what to write about because it has to be in my voice. I am on the sarcastic side, not a mean side, but my own way of talking. And sitting in the dental chair, I kept thinking of it. Come on, Liz, there's a way to put your voice on it. And boom. So I got home. I was in the chair writing on my cell phone, my notes. And it's just coming out of me now. So I've got another book. Yeah.
Yay, that's exciting. And it's about your parents' story?
It is, but I'm creating a new genre. It's going to be family historical fiction. Fictional historical, family. So it's based on my parents, but nobody else knows the history, of course. So, but I'm making
like a fictionalized memoir kind of thing almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm tapping into them, but it won't be all truth.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to call it.
A little more creative leeway on that one.
Right, because I don't have a journal, but about 3 months ago, knowing my mom was starting to make a turn for leaving the earth, I called her, and she's only a couple miles down the road. And I said, I'd like to interview you. I'd like to ask you some questions. She goes, well, just come over here. I go, nope, I don't want any emotional attachment. I just want the facts. So just answer my questions and tell me stories without input of anger, frustrations, old history. And so I got about 30 pages of story things I never knew. So
that's
it's real
interesting. Yeah,
it's a real treasure. And I thought, what do I do with
this? Yeah, that is a treasure.
Yeah. So I just told my husband this morning, I said, it's just coming out of me. It's just, I can't stop. So
that's fun. Well, cool. Well, and it's nice because, I mean, up until this point, you really didn't have to worry about it. And I talk to a lot of authors, and it's so interesting. Some of them keep journals of like all the ideas that come to them. And then when it's time to write the next book, they'll kind of look through it and see which one speaks to them at that moment. And some of them don't do that at all. They figure when it's time, the idea will come. And they do. And I think that's so awesome that.
And you know what? Yeah. And what comes out of this is what I'm deeply honored is that the response to my book has just been overwhelmingly positive.
That's awesome.
And yes, last Saturday I had my first author meet and greet and signings.
Fun.
And people were saying, we love the book, we love the book, we love your humor.
That's important right now.
It is. When's your next book? Ooh, jeez.
Back you on that one.
Yeah, I want to enjoy this one.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, you said something about, I said about the humor. You said that's important right now.
That's
where my memoir is different. It's a 3-week arc of time, but I pull back the curtains, here and there to add dimension to us, why we're doing what we're doing.
Right.
So I go back into that way, but it's not this long line of, from where we grew up to then where we ended. It's the small arc of time, which really helped me as a writer. It kept it very succinct. Yeah. But there are no beasts. We weren't scarred as children. We didn't have to go to discover, get this anger out.
Yeah, or to mend relationships or any of that. Yeah.
Right. There were a couple things that, whoa, I didn't know this before. But it was very, it's a different memoir. It's humorous and heartfelt. So my memoir is different. There are no beasts, no deep anger, no scars.
That's nice. And I think that probably resonates right now. I've never been one to be attracted to the books that just gut you, It always surprises me that are people that, tell me the book that really just gutted you and made you cry. And, like, ooh, I don't want to read that. But people right now, especially with travel having been closed off for so long for so many of us, something with humor, something with travel and exploring, that's awesome. And I think a lot of people, if you have siblings, you can relate to the idea of traveling with your siblings and all the different things that could go wrong with that. Or right.
And they do.
Exactly. I mean, they're bound to.
But that's what makes it fun. Like I said, my one girlfriend said, I would have gone home. I said, but that's not who we are. We grew up campers, hikers, you stick it out and you laugh about it. Our tent stakes were humor and laughter. And we made sure to bring those tent stakes with us for our sister tent.
That was good.
And it saved us many times. And when we were in Scotland too, our little sister started to go a little haywire, but we figured it out and we decided that this was not a hill we're going to die on. We are worth saving. And it's important to feel that way.
It is.
And my sisters and I are even closer friends now.
Ah, that's so awesome. So 3 sisters, 3 weeks, 3 countries.
Still talking.
Still talking. Nice.
Still talking is the punchline.
You got to keep that in there. Yeah.
Because we are. And it's Elizabeth Moore, Moore Kraus, Kraus. And you can find it Goodreads, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, also Book Baby.
Okay.
So
that sounds good. And you are on Instagram. That's how you and I found each other.
It is at Liz Kraus Author. Well, hey, enjoy your sisters.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining me today on the Literary Escapes podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode and maybe would like some more Literary Escape book recommendations, then come check out the Literary Escape Society. We're a community of travelers who love books, or maybe book lovers who love to travel. Either way, if you need an escape, a literary escape, come join us as we read our way around the world together, one book at a time. Check out the show notes to learn more about the Literary Escape Society. And we'll see you next time on the next episode.